Alright, so we're going to be covering some Facebook cancer.
Yeah.
Or not Twitter cancer.
Social media cancer.
Yes, social media cancer.
Social media cancer.
Alright, I'm just stupid.
Get it right.
So I saw this thing that the ACLU national account was posting about Milo Yiannopoulos and free speech and defending his right to free speech, which I was actually surprised by them doing this, but I'm really happy that they are actually supporting free speech in this case, especially because it doesn't align with the ACLU's values. So I was going around looking at all the replies to it and saw a lot of horrible SJWs, so I was just laying bait on like 20 different posts that SJWs were posting and seeing if anyone would reply, and sure enough, I got this person to reply. So this person, I think this person thinks that she's a wolf.
Oh, no.
I'm not quite sure what that's about, but all right. There's a loophole in free speech and violence, according to this person. Yeah, fuck that. But anyways, so I was like, violence ? The only people I see using violence are the people like you in a pathetic attempt to prevent him from speaking. And then she just posts Dylan Roof.
Dylan Roof.
Like,
the white supremacist. The Charleston shooting in 2015.
Yeah.
That's somehow comparable to Milo.
I didn't get it whatsoever. So then I was like, Dylan Roof is a white supremacist. Have you ever heard Milo speak? He's literally told people not to be a white supremacists. Alright, so, well, that settles it. He'd never lie. What? And then she posts this. Milo is not a Nazi, just a regular conservative who happens to read Hitler bios, make a Holocaust meme, and once wore a Iron Cross. So the Iron Cross is clearly trolling. So that's just stupid.
Or, I mean, he could have just been wearing it because it looked cool. I mean, it's Milo.
Yeah.
Like,
it does look cool, honestly, but fuck it. I wouldn't wear it. But it is Milo, and he likes to be offensive in a lot of ways, which...
Like, come on, look at this thing. This thing looks kind of cool.
Yeah, it does.
I wouldn't wear the one with the swastika.
But, like, there was actually pictures of all these things, but... So, here. My reply to that was, like... Oh, wait, what? Okay, wrong one. Here. Wait, what? Okay. No, okay, yeah, I did have a reply to it, but I replied on here because she wasn't replying to anything I was saying on the same post, and then she made a vague post about what we were talking about. So, I was like, weird how you can say someone's a Nazi / white supremacist with no citation. Are you a Jedi and able to read minds? What do you think of that?
I like what you're responding to. Weird how he's not X, citation, he said so, only seems to work with white cis reactionaries.
Yeah. And, you gotta realize that more than 90% of the population is cis, and cis isn't even a fucking word. It is a slang term that a transgender person in the 80s invented. I don't really know why. I actually looked it up one time.
They're a professor or something. I've read about it.
Yeah. They
have like some degree in...
But it's not a word.
Yeah.
It's I would call it a slur. I'd call it it's intentionally incendiary. But anyways, we'll go on to the next one. I can tell because I only punch Nazis, and I would punch him. So, and then I'm like, oh great arbiter of all things, please forgive me. I didn't realize you know everything.
So, if we're supposed to take her word for it, does that mean I can say, well, I only punch Nazis in the face and I would punch you? Does that make this wolf person a Nazi?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
She's a Nazi. Clearly. Dude, you're right.
I bet you weren't expecting that, SF the wolf.
Oh, this person claims to be a video game developer.
This person?
Yes.
Oh,
It looked awful.
Jesus.
There was one model of a character that actually looked pretty badass though, but everything else looked awful. It had like similar designs to like an Overwatch character, and it actually looked pretty cool.
It likes to fist frogs.
Oh God. No wonder we hate this.
Yeah, wolf punches frog. It's obviously
it's an attack on us, dude.
But you can tell this is supposed to be sexual because of this little cum stain at the end.
So, all right. we got some more social media cancer.
Oh yay.
Okay. So this is your friend again.
More of Carl.
All right.
So people have probably seen this around on Facebook. It reads, "Not a liberal snowflake. My feelings aren't fragile. Blah 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 blah." You know, the opposite of what people call liberals now because of all this nonsense. And then he ends it with a a Game of Thrones meme.
Yeah.
So I politely reply, "The problem is, many liberals say those things, and from now on, at least after this, I've started saying liberal in quotations, because I know not all liberals are like this, obviously.
Yeah.
So, if you see the word liberals, assume I'm putting it in quotation marks. Problem is, many liberals say these things, but they do not practice what they preach. Take the events in Berkeley, for example. Silencing someone solely for what they had to say, assaulting people for no reason, setting things on fire and destroying property. This is what quote-unquote liberals have become because they're not happy they got their way."
Mm-hmm.
No, they're not happy that they didn't get their way.
Yeah.
In hindsight, I can't spell. Then there's this guy. And I'm going to preface this by saying, according to this guy, he works with lawyers.
Alright, so what? I work with lawyers.
In fact,
okay.
I'm pretty sure he says something like that in this. "The hypocrisy in this is rich, speaking in absolutes, as it only undermines any point you're trying to make. Silencing someone for what they have to say, check. Assaulting people for no reason, check."
What?
Which, I mean, fair point. There are shitty conservatives out there.
Yeah.
But this is this is political. I don't think that there are many conservative demonstrations where they are destroying property, beating people into unconsciousness in the street.
Well, if you look at actually, I believe it's white supremacist fucking protests that they do and whatever, they actually have to be protected from people wanting to be violent towards them.
Yeah, I've seen that somewhere. The Nazis with the guards and
yeah,
or not.
Were
Nazis.
they Nazis or the white supremacists? I don't know.
White supremacists. Southerners.
But yeah, they have to be defended from other people. And like, I'm not defending them for this. I'm just, saying that you shouldn't be violent towards people no matter what. That makes your point irrelevant.
So he says those things happen on the other side of the aisle too. Nice try, which I mean is fair. But so the difference here is I'm giving a verifiable event of this occurring where you have not. It wasn't a matter of whether or not this behavior exists on the right. Your source is pending, by the way. But whether or not a resoundingly large number of quote-unquote liberals truly believe these things, hint they don't. This is a logical fallacy on your part. And that's because, here's where I start doing it in quotations. Liberals these days aren't actually liberals.
I'd agree. I consider myself center-left, though.
Yeah. You must have missed the coverage of Donald Trump's rallies. What?
Donald Trump's rallies had like one or two people punch a protester that got into the rally.
Yeah, they've never been.
They weren't like attacking multiple people and hurting businesses and all sorts of things.
And setting shit on fire.
Setting shit on fire. Yeah. Actually, I don't really remember. I pretty much don't remember any protests from the right wing, like actually setting things on fire and rioting. I can't.
I don't believe so. I can't say for certain, but I don't believe so.
It's just that I haven't heard it. That's what I'm saying.
people like to bring up when Obama won or something, and then they were hanging the effigies. They would say they were hanging effigies and setting them on fire. No, actually, if you go back and look that up, it was a priest from a church, one guy, who was pissed because he thought Obama was going to bring about the end of the world because he supported gay rights. One guy.
Yeah.
And I think they've said, at least in the inauguration weekend protests, I think they've said they've arrested almost 200 people in connection to that.
You know what? I don't even think the Westboro Baptist Church, the most hateful group I can really think of. I
don't think they've ever done something like this. And they hate everybody.
They do. I guess you could say the KKK is more hateful than that.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? You think the Westboro Baptist Church is the most hateful overall?
When you're protesting, when you're protesting the funerals of children that are shot and killed in cold blood in a school, because you think it was divine punishment for gay marriage being legalized, I don't think there's anything more hateful or evil than that. Yeah.
They also showed up to the death or to the memorials of soldiers and protested right there.
Yeah, it's stupid.
That's just fucked up.
Like listen, the KKK is fucked up. No one's going to deny that. But I don't think I don't think they're that fucked up.
They were at one time, I think.
Maybe if it was a school full of black kids.
Yeah.
Then they might.
I think that they were at one time, though.
Oh, I'm sure they were at some point. Totally.
Yeah, but they are a lot more tame than they used to be. But fuck them still.
Yeah.
All right. So the next one.
So he throws a bunch of links at me, of the events we were talking about. Trump supporters, beating up a guy. Small groups of people beating up one or two people. And every single link that he shared with me, the people were arrested and held accountable for it right away. Yeah. Each of those stories ended with they were arrested, they were escorted out of the place, charges were filed against them and stuff like that. And some of them had gone through court already by the time that these stories got out. I could post all afternoon of these events, but I actually have work to do. Remember that. He has work to do.
My job's important.
Comes back only almost 5 minutes, 3 minutes later. McConnell silencing Senator Warren for participating in the Senate discussion on Jeff Sessions. Now, we talked about this briefly, you and I. Yeah. And I'm sure most people have already heard about Senator Warren reading a letter from Coretta King, written in like the 80s, I think, about why that means Jeff Sessions wouldn't be a good attorney general now. Yeah. Almost like 30 years later.
Philip DeFranco did a very good video on this.
Yeah. We should maybe link that. Yeah. So if you want to hear about that, that'd be the place to go. But yeah, so she was breaking decorum. She was warned a few times, and then McConnell said, "All right, that's enough. Stop." See, before Sessions was a senator, this would have been okay. Yeah. But now that he's a senator, it's against the rules. Yep. Let's also remember that Elizabeth Warren is the chick that lied about being an Indian.
I know, I was gonna say that, but then I was like, is that true or not? I think it is. And then I was about to say that to you when when you were messaging me this.
That's why they call her fake Pocahontas and Pocahontas, because
she probably has
there was a
5% Indian.
there was a Ben Shapiro thing that I had watched.
Or Native American.
And he said something along the lines of Elizabeth Warren is the whitest person in America. She's whiter than I am, and I'm Jewish. She's whiter than this piece of paper.
Yeah, I'd say she's whiter than TJ Kirk.
Yeah.
But anyways, are we done with this page, or are we gonna?
We're good.
We're good. All right, we got a big ass post here.
He's not answered the subject of the question. I said that this is a logical fallacy. I'm going to start saying that because sometimes I get the terms for them mixed up.
Yeah.
Firstly, you compare pre- and post-election events, which is wrong for the simple fact that Trump supporters wrong, which were many admittedly wrong in their actions and denounced by Trump himself. He has said, don't do that. He has said, get them out of here. Get them out of here. Blah blah blah. Get them out of there. Get out of here. But I don't think I can't say for certain because I haven't watched everything of Trump's. But if he had actually said, beat that person's ass, set their stores on fire, all of this stuff,
he'd be in jail.
He wouldn't be president right now.
That
he wouldn't be president.
That's like,
right
isn't
now.
that a felony inciting a riot?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is kind of funny because I've seen a lot of people say things that should be considered inciting a riot and get away with it.
Yeah, like Sarah Silverman.
Yeah.
Suggesting that there should be a coup. That's actually illegal, by the way.
That's treason. I believe you still, under treason laws, you're still covered even if you're a civilian. When it's that. I'm pretty sure.
Well, we'll look up the law. Maybe we can throw up an annotation so you guys can go look at it. But basically, advocating for overthrowing of the government is a federal crime that gets you like $250,000 fine and like 20 years in prison or something like that.
Damn, they're not fucking around.
It doesn't even say like you have to be like. It just says advocating for.
Yeah. That's.
But I said that these Trump supporters didn't number nearly as high as these recent protests in quotation marks. McConnell's behavior was irrelevant to the conversation because this had nothing to do with what we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Do I agree with silencing Warren? No, not necessarily. But
I think they shouldn't have done it. I think that they have enough power in Congress where it doesn't even matter. They should have just left it alone.
People would have been quick to, say, hey, shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
And even after she had been silenced, a couple other people read it, I think, or picked up where she left off or something like that.
Yeah, but he omitted a bunch of things that would have made him kicked out until the end, where he ended his speech. That's where he had things that were also under was it Rule 15?
Something like that.
Yeah, it also covered that.
But again, it was besides the point.
Yeah.
Response to your sources, every link provided, and it says every link provided gives the indication that the people who were assaulted the protests, who assaulted the protesters, were charged with a crime. Every single one in the links that he provided. On the opposite side, almost no one responsible for the events in Berkeley, have been arrested. Almost no one. I know that there have been a few people arrested. I had seen anywhere from 1 to 3. But compared to all the people that were there, there were tons of people.
I think there was hundreds, actually.
I'm sure it's in the hundreds.
Never mind. That 50
Can't say for certain, but a sweet little ad hominem for implying I don't have work to do. This is why liberals don't win.
I wouldn't really call it a ad hominem because he didn't directly say it. It's close to.
That's why I said implying.
Yeah.
But I guess I digress.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, he's back.
I guess I don't have important work to do.
Remember, exactly. Apparently, he doesn't have work to do.
Didn't you say that he works for a fucking bank or something?
According to his Facebook, he was like he worked for like some law place. He was like
law place.
He was like a finance person at a law firm because that makes you smart.
No. Did he even have a CPA?
I don't know. I don't think so. But I can't say for certain. But still, I mean.
But if he didn't have a CPA,
arguments from authority are retarded.
Yeah.
Nice try. Trump encouraged the behavior. It's on tape. It's undeniable. It's not. Get them, like I said, get them out of here is not beat the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Using an anecdotal interest to prove your point. I am.
So you're not allowed to have a bouncer at a bar? Get them out of here.
Is Berkeley really anecdotal though?
No. There's video. There's a lot of fucking coverage.
It is on the news.
Yeah.
On the news. Milo Yiannopoulos got invited to the White House. Like, it wasn't... it's not an anecdote. It's as anecdotal as any polling statistic, as anything any politician would ever say on the campaign trail then. Berkeley's not an anecdote.
Yeah.
How many times a may or may not take out the trash is an anecdote.
Unless there's video coverage of it.
Shut up.
Hey, it's not an anecdote if you have evidence.
I did the same to refute it.
Right.
I mean, not really, because I don't remember. I didn't hear a lot about the Trump people beating people up.
Yeah.
If you want to play Paul,
there was like one or two of them, and I believe one of them was a hoax.
Yeah.
So, and then the burning the church was also a hoax.
Yep. Oh, we weren't done on that page.
Oh, we weren't?
Nope.
Thought we were.
McConnell's behavior isn't irrelevant to Berkeley because he's a top 5 ranking Republican.
Interesting.
You could have just said he's like, isn't he like the Republican? Like, he's basically the boss, isn't he?
Yeah.
And then Paul Ryan's his bitch.
Yeah.
Like,
although I wish it was reversed roles. I don't really like Mitch McConnell.
No, nobody likes Mitch McConnell.
He's a turtle, dude.
He looks like a turtle. He might not turtle enough for the turtle club.
I don't know. We shouldn't talk shit though. We're frogs.
That's
but
fair.
anyways,
talking about who and who wasn't charged with the crime isn't relevant. That's something you can take up with the justice system. I mean, sure, but they're still not comparable events.
Yeah. It's
been, what, almost 2 weeks since Berkeley? And only, like, 4 people have been arrested?
Mm-hmm.
Out of maybe 100 or so?
Yeah.
Like, what? And a handful of people that voted for Trump have been arrested and charged and all of that stuff already.
Yeah. And these were all incidents where it was like 1 or 2 people in each Trump protest, or not, well, each Trump rally that decided to punch someone that came to protest.
Yeah.
So.
And I even think in a lot of the cases that they say that they were attacking in self-defense, like in response to something towards them. Like they were instigated. Like one of the stories was a guy that showed up with, I'm trying to remember, some sort of flag with Trump's head on it.
Yeah.
And then he was with a lady wearing a KKK hood for shits and giggles.
Oh, okay. That's weird.
Yeah. And so people beat their asses. Like
But did they do anything violent before it to cause that to happen? I don't think they did.
If you're going to go into the South, intentionally offensive, they're going to fuck you up. That's just the South.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it is. Do you think Southerners are particularly proud of the KKK and all the shit that happened down there?
Some of them are. Most of them aren't.
That's what I said, particularly. So I just responded, all that work you've got to do must be keeping you from making a good argument. So far, all we've gotten is irrelevance and name-calling. Keep on cucking.
Yeah. Wait 1 second. I'm using the wrong fucking one, man.
Why?
It's easier for them to read.
Right. You fucked up. That's what you did.
It doesn't matter. It wasn't that small. You can still read it. It's just.
Alright, so we're on to the next one. Here's another person calling me a pseudo-intellectual. Even though I've never claimed to be intellectual in the first place. Yeah,
how can you be a pseudo-intellectual when you never claimed to be an intellectual? I keep seeing people make this argument about others. And it's ridiculous because only way you can be a pseudo-intellectual is if you claim to be an intellectual.
No.
So if Thunderfoot was not actually an intellectual, which he is, then
your pseudo intellectual understanding of rhetoric and analysis of argument is just piss poor. Plus, you don't pay my bills; lawyers do, because You are a finance person at a law firm. If the lawyers worked for you, maybe I'd be impressed.
Yeah.
But you work for the lawyers. And I've said you've still yet to present an actual argument. 150, because they've estimated that here they had estimated as many as 150 rioters at Berkeley.
Yeah.
150 rioters is way more than a handful of retarded Trump supporters. Trump repeatedly denouncing violence on part of his supporters on video. It is a lot more than, Trump encouraged the behavior.
Yeah.
Rioters. Over McConnell being retarded. You're not sticking to the topic of the discussion. You're completely missing the point with incredibly poorly pieced together sources. As noticed, everyone in your sources has been held accountable for their actions. The same is not true in the example of the Berkeley riot. Who pays your bills is irrelevant to the conversation as well. Yet another fallacy in your argument. I'd probably just get back to work since you've got so much to do.
So why is he trying to use the fact that he works at a law firm as like an argument for anything?
I don't know. Like I said, arguments of authority are like retarded.
Yeah.
Even if he was a lawyer, like, what does that have to do with politics?
Yeah.
What does that have to do with whether or not quote unquote liberals are fucking stupid?
It has nothing to do with that. So
it reminds me of another Ben Shapiro quote.
That was the last clip of this, but yeah, or picture this.
It reminds me of another Ben Shapiro quote, where his kid was asking him, if you don't have a degree, in sociology or gender studies and all this stuff, how can you like make statements, like professional statements based off of them? And he said, because I've read the studies and I can form an opinion based on the studies. I don't need a 7-year sociology degree to understand bullshit when I see it.
That's true. And it's also a waste of time and money.
Yeah, don't get those degrees. No one's going to hire you.
Yeah,
except McDonald's.
Yeah, McDonald's will.
Maybe McDonald's.
They might see that and be like, I don't know, they're too underqualified.
They're less intelligent than than the dumbest person we've hired.
Yeah.